Yo, what is up? Today's video is the AE Phase 1 reward tank. One of the tanks that you can get out of the Frontlines and the Steele Hunter game modes. One of 3 reward tanks. Of course, you can pick out the AE Phase 1, the Char Future 4, or the Object 777 version 2. If you didn't play last year's Frontlines, then you have all 3 tanks to choose from, but you can only choose one. So let's go. Remember to subscribe if you are here for the first time. Also, turn on your notifications and give this video a like. Now, this is the best way you can help support my channel, and let me thank you in advance for it. So here we go anyway. AE Phase 1 Tier 9 reward tank. This is a reward tank, not a premium tank. A premium tank, you get to earn a lot of credits out of those premium tanks. This tank, you do not earn any kind of premium credits, but you do earn those XP bonuses and stuff like that as you would on a normal premium tank. Now, this tank, 258 standard penetration on the AP shells, on the heat shells 340 penetration, doing 400 alpha damage. Very slow tank, 35 kilometers an hour going forward and 12 kilometers an hour in reverse. The tank, the gun handling is exactly like a Patriot or like a T-32 on the tech tree with the small gun. But the thing about this tank is the armor. So let's go take a look at the armor profile. So here's the maximum strength of the AE Phase 1. In this position where it is hull down, you cannot pen anything as long as the lower plate is covered. You can see the lower plate is very weak here, 180 plus, almost anything can pen in. But if you are hull down below, you know, if you got some rubble, it's very hard to pen this tank. Everything on the top plate and the turret is very impenetrable. Even the commander's hatch, it's really tiny at this angle. Of course, when you are flat on like this on a flat ground, then the upper plate becomes penetrable to tier 9 tanks that are firing premium shells. Of course, the cupola as well becomes a little bit larger because you are on flat ground and it becomes an easier target. But it's still you can still consider it quite a tiny turret. From this distance, even on flat ground, quite difficult to hit. But if you do hit it, you probably can pen it. If you're in tier 8, you would need some premium shells. Now, when you're side scraping against tier 8, I think you can get away with this kind of side scrape. Look, 260 plus on the lower plate. It's very difficult to pen 260 plus. So let's say you are coming around the corner. You can bait shots with lower tier tanks that way, and it's very difficult for them to do anything about it. But with higher tier tanks, you might need to angle a little bit more, something like that, and then it becomes a little bit more difficult. You have a greater angle, 350, 360 on the lower plate. You can bounce stuff even from high tier tanks and premium shells. But yeah, the best position it can be is like this, with the hull kind of like pointing up. If you're in a rubble, you drive up a rubble and you increase that angle of your upper plate, and it becomes almost impossible to pen, and then you use your 10 degrees of gun depression to make it work for you. Alright, let's get back to the brawl. Obviously, we are in El Haluf. We are on the north spawn. We are going to where the heavies are going to play, and this is where I belong, and this is exactly where I should be. Looks like the enemies have taken down. They've been very aggressive going in this position, but it looks like we have the upper hand here. Why? Because we can definitely hold them back, and we can definitely chip away at their HP. All we need is time to reload, time to work our way around this corner and eliminate them slowly one by one. Now, I've switched to the heat shells because I need to shoot at tier 10 tanks and heavily armored tier 10 tanks. Even that IS-7, when he's angled that way, I can't pen him with my heat shells, even though it has 340 penetration. Now, standard penetration 258 is already really good for a tier 9 tank, but when you're fighting against super heavy tanks like Conquerors, Mouses, IS-7s, you need that extra penetration, so it's better to just go with the 340 penetration, 400 damage gun. Now it looks like the Conqueror, I could peek over and kill him off, but it's just not worth it because I need to take a hit for it. I might as well let RT do the work. Now if you look at the mini map, the mistake is going on right here while we are holding them off in the south, in the north. I mean, the south team, those 3 tanks are being unnecessarily aggressive. The UDES has just lost all his HP and died. 277 has also died. We have a T-54 lightweight and an Object 430 down south in the bowl, trapped there, unable to proceed any further. We have a TVP right on top in the middle of the map, and probably he's the only one that's able to give us a little bit of cover here when they peek over on this side. But we have an EBR doing nothing, driving around the base. We have an M60 on the east side, possibly covering the 430 and the T-54 lightweight. There's not much. We have no control over the south side, and that is that I wanted to highlight that because if I was in a tank with more mobility, I would have possibly left this position and gone to the south and helped them there. But when you're in a heavy tank like this with 35 kilometers an hour forward speed and 12 kilometers an hour reverse speed, basically you are committed. When you have gone into one position, you are committed, and you are hoping for the game to last longer. The longer the game lasts, the more influence you would have in the game, because you do not have mobility. All you have is a good gun and some armor, and it takes some time for you to reload, because when you're in a heavy tank, your reload time, example on this gun, is 10.55 seconds. Even with my best crew going on in it, it's like 9.5 seconds or something like that. So it's not great reload speed. I have to take my time to reload. I have to slow play and check out that armor. Just bounce a Yak Panzer E100 for 1050. Bounce that guy. So kind of trollish armor. I think he hit me on the upper plate there because I didn't give him a lot of lower plate to hit to begin with. I had to try and take a shot at him. This guy is trying to escape, go around the side, and I managed to get another shot at him, but this E50 coming up, I cannot give him any of my HP, so I'm just trying to avoid taking any damage from that E50M. And while this STB or this standard B is trying to escape, let me pump one into his back. Now here's the problem with the loss on the south, and now the only tank that is supporting us from the back is that TVP. Unfortunately, we are being overwhelmed here. We are doing our best here, the 60 TP and me. We are holding off as much as we can. But on the matchmaker, if you look at the matchmaker, we do not have a chieftain and they have a chieftain. And their chieftain is going to do really well by the end of this game. And that's the problem. That's the problem with tier 9, tier 10 matchmaking. You have no control over which team has the chieftain or which team has the 279E, and that is just one of the realities you have to face with when you are playing high tier games, tier 9 or tier 10. I did really well for myself here, over 3000 damage, considering I am not top tier and I am not in like a super competitive tank. I wish the higher tier tanks like this surviving M60 and the TVP over there took up a bigger role, played a bigger part in this game, because being top tier, when you are top tier, you are expected to be out in front no matter what tank you are in, unless you are in artillery. Even if you are in a tank destroyer, you need to be in a position where you are putting yourself out in front, doing the damage and playing your part in the game, not being passive and at the back and waiting for the game to end and then chasing down an EBR, which you will never hit. This guy in the M60, he is obviously very inexperienced in this tank. He is attempting to chase an EBR 105, which he will never catch, but he is still trying his darndest. But the game is already over. He should have played his part early in the game and help out the team. We could have easily won this game if they had played a bigger role, perhaps either in helping us in the northern side, or maybe even helping those guys, those tier 9 tanks, the UDES 16, the Object 430, you know, help the T-54 lightweight. If they help them earlier on in the southern part of the map, we could have won this game very easily. While we were holding those heavy tanks up in the north, they could have been aggressive in the south and won the game that way. But this is beyond our control. Too bad we lost it. I didn't do too bad for myself. I'm satisfied with what I did. 3,000 damage. I finished on top, even though we lost the game. But if you are interested in a tank like that plays like a T-32, that plays like a Patriot, probably this might be one of your first choices of one of those three reward tanks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little preview on the reward tanks that are coming your way. Earliest is in June. See you next time. Bye bye.